In the last module, we created life. A species that, as they developed their sentience, knew, somehow, that they are named as the Velveteers. Their dry and warm world nurturing them past history and into a future that filled their dreams until this day. With the discovery of hyperdrive technology, the Velveteeran Military Command took the duty of protection over the homeworld Mok, and, in time, built a civilization that, if and when it is ever completed, will allow for progress and exploration just as much as it will provide for every Velveteeran born, imagined, and destined to be. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on where you are on this good green earth of ours. I, of course, am Novocaine, and I, of course, have a lovely cup of tea. And welcome to Module 3 of the definitive Stellaris tutorial. We're going to be talking about interstellar economics and planetary colonization. So this video might be split into two. We'll see how it goes, but we're going to look at districts, we're going to look at stability, we're going to look at POPs, we're going to look at material requirements, and how to balance an economy of an interstellar empire. So we're going to press N, we're going to be the Great Velveteer Commonwealth. If you have no idea who they are, then over here, click that. It'll take you to good places, I promise. Select. We're going to reset to default, so you can follow along. Reset to default. And we are hitting play. Starting new universe. Loading genetic codes. And here we are. I would be remiss if I didn't lean close to the microphone and say to you these words. The words that mark the beginning of the Velveteer spacefaring empire. In the eons since the first primitive Velveteer communities took shape in the dry canyons and mesas of Mok, our civilization has spread and prospered. Technological progress has been swift, but as our numbers grew, the civilian population became increasingly restless. With our world on the brink of anarchy, the military stepped in to restore the rule of law. A new order was established to safeguard our nation from all threats, both external and internal. Now, after the discovery of the Great Hyperlane Network, the finest minds of the Great Velveteer Commonwealth have finished development of the first hyperdrives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp. Begin! Right, the first part of this video is not going to involve this button at all. We are not going to move forward in time. We are going to cover these mechanics in this order. The planet screen. That might take like 6 hours. No, wait. Fleets, construction vessels, space resources. So you can see some of them over there. We're not even going to go into the galactic map right now. And a science vessel. When we talk about that, we are going to go into the galactic map. So, here we go. Ignore these for now. If you've watched the first module, you'll know what they mean. So, Mok, we can click here on the planet itself or the title bar here. And here we are. The planet screen. This wonderfully designed screen tracks everything you need to know about any planet in your empire. Obviously, we only have one planet. Not a single microsecond has gone by since the discovery of the hyperlane network. So, let's have a look at districts. Districts are the fundamental concept of how you organize planetary infrastructure, and how, if this was a city building game such as City Skylines, also published by Paradox, how you would zone areas. So we've got 4 here. We've got the city district, the generator district, the mining district, and the agriculture district. The last 3 are relatively simple. They all provide jobs. We'll talk about jobs in a second, but their output is directly represented up here. So energy credits generates energy, nothing else. You can see that this planet with its 2 districts that are built are filled in, districts that can be built are hollowed out, districts that can be built if you clear some blockers, I'll talk about that in a minute, are represented here with these hashed lines. So those are the first 3. We've got energy, minerals, and agriculture. So obviously energy credits, minerals up there, and food. You can see exactly how much a planet's producing, of course, in the planet production screen down here. So 9 energy, 9 minerals, 5 apples. Well, that's the profit, because obviously the 24 pops. We'll talk about exactly what pops are in a moment, and science as well as influence, unity, alloys, and toasters, also known as consumer goods. So let's talk about jobs, and for that we're going to go to the population screen. We have 24 pops on our planet. What is a pop? It's a group of your species that can fulfill a function, fulfill a job in your civilization. I like to think of one pop being 1 billion people. That would mean that 24 billion people are living on Mok. That might not sound realistic, but I use it for roleplay, so it's fun. Strata, we'll talk about that probably in another video. But let's have a look. Let's have a look at what we've got. We've got 3 stratas here. We've got rulers, we've got specialists, we've got workers. Rulers and specialists are only used or only employed in buildings. Here, we're talking about districts. Districts employ workers, and they are the lower strata, the widest, the foundation of our economy. We're not going to go through each job in detail, because it's pretty self-explanatory. Each district provides jobs. So our city districts will go into more detail because they have a good secondary function. Provide amenities. We need amenities, particularly as the Velveteers. We also have trade value. We'll talk about that maybe in an entirely separate module. But don't worry, it will get covered. Farmers. Farming jobs. 18.96 apples, or megatons of apples, per month. By 4 billion farmers on the planet's surface. And that's directly represented by the fact we have 2 agricultural districts. Each district provides 2 farmer jobs. Same as the mining districts and the generator districts. So 2 plus 2 does equal 4. So we've got 4 miners, 4 technicians. These are their base production. So that's districts. Well, that's the base districts. Now we need to look at housing, at stability, at crime. And that's why I've left the city district to last. These districts all provide 2 housing. So think of them as like worker barracks for farmers, for miners, you know, on-site accommodation for people living in power plants, or, you know, purpose-built towns nearby to house them and their families. City districts provide +5. They are all about housing, they're all about trade and building metropolises. So we can see here, we could each has +5, so we could get 10, 20, 30 additional housing if we needed to, if we just built 6 more of them at a cost of, what's that going to be, 3,000 minerals, which we don't have. Why do we need housing? Can't we just have homelessness everywhere? I mean, it's a hot world, you know, it's going to be fine. No, because stability is a thing. So let's talk about stability. It's pretty self-explanatory if you think of any sort of civil unrest here in the grim reality of the far present. We have a base stability of 50, and then it can go up, it can go down through a variety of factors. So, well, you can see a measure of the overall political stability of the planet itself, and that's defined by the pop approval rating. So, again, numbers influencing other numbers upon numbers. Don't know what that means? It means you haven't watched the introduction. Check over here for a card that will show you the introduction. So, what can we do? At the moment, we've got 8 free housing slots. So, it will be your total minus the amount of pops living on the planet, and the remainder then is going to be 8. So if we had 9 additional pops to make a total of 31, we would be -1. Our stability would suffer. We'd have 1 billion people on the streets, and that's not ideal. Amenities as well. So things like, you know, really nice wraps, fast food, theatre, you know, all kinds of things that one can do to make themselves feel better, are represented here as amenities, and city districts provide amenities as well. You can also get specialized buildings to provide them. If they go into the negative, then it's going to affect stability, and that's bad. You can see from high stability, we get plus 5.4% resources from all jobs on this planet. So everyone here is employed, either as a worker in one of these districts or as a worker in one of these buildings. So that's fantastic. We've got no unemployment, but we also have no available jobs. So when we get a new pop, we can check when that's happening here. We can see growth process progress is plus 3.3 per month. That, well, do some maths. It's going to be about, what, 33 months-ish that we'll get a new 1 billion people, and those 1 billion people will need to be employed somewhere. So we could build a generator district, for example. That will give 2 jobs, so we'll have 2 available. When we hit 25, we'll still have 1 left over, so that'd be great. Crime, that's what happens when things go wrong. So from pops are naturally kind of criminally inclined, unfortunately. This is affected by your governor. We'll talk about leaders as well in this module. So, buildings. You will always have a headquarters building. In this case, it's a planetary administration. So obviously this is the Planetary Unified. So if it was Earth, for example, it might be the United Nations or the capital city of whichever country has conquered the entire world. But basically that's what it is. So it provides a load of other jobs. So an enforcer job, produce unity, decrease crime. So we can see here enforcers, pop jobs. That one enforcer is minus 25 crime. Fantastic. We can actually see them in the population tab. Rulers, where we've got administrators. They work in the building listed behind them, so that's the Planetary Administration. And the specialists, so we can see our enforcer there, provided by the Planetary Administration, and these are the effects they have. So just under 1 unity, minus 25 crime, and 2 planetary defense armies, which are here. The Stronghold outfit. Fantastic. We can have a look. We can assign a general if we want. We'll talk about leaders later. Corporate, great. If you are a megacorp, we aren't, so we're going to ignore. Okay. So, at this point, you can't build anything. You don't have enough minerals. How do you get minerals? You could build a mining district. Oh, we need minerals to get minerals. Oh dear. So, in the early game, you're not really going to be building anything on your planets. And that's okay. That's okay. Because you've already got some amazing buildings already. You've got research labs, you've got alloy foundries, and you've got civilian industries. Everything you need to keep your population happy and to put some alloys in the kitty. If you're American or whatever, that means piggy bank in the bank, whatever. In the kitty to build and maintain your starships. We'll cover that in the next module. It's going to be fabulous and gorgeous. Oh no, I just can't wait. Right. Let's see the population of the specialists strata. So obviously we've got artisans. They turn minerals into toasters. The enforcer we covered. Metallurgists turn minerals into alloys. Researchers turn toasters into science. You can see the upkeep of all of these pops is also represented. So you can see there the upkeep of this pop in this job is 2.5 toasters a month. How many are we making? We're making 4.7 each. So that's a lot comparatively. And same for metallurgists. Now, you might have noticed some discrepancies about the different toaster consumption. 0.2. They take 0.2 consumer goods, these workers. How much do the rulers take? They take 1 megaton each. What about the specialists? They take half a megaton each. What's that discrepancy about? That is about living standards. So, with what the ethics we've got at the moment, the governing ethics we've got at the moment, we can have 2 living standards. So we can see workers get only 25% what rulers get. Specialists get half what rulers get, and so the majority get the least. Hopefully that doesn't sound too familiar, but I think it might do. And there are other ones. There's utopian abundance, the stratified economy, but you can see why it's not possible down the bottom. So we've got that. We could upgrade to social welfare. That would mean that workers will be treated the same way as specialists. I don't think we have any slaves at the moment. Yeah, so that's the reason for this discrepancy. Always have a look at your species and the set rights button and just see what you can do. Be careful about changing something, because you can't change it again for 10 years. Just remember that. Get your notepad out and write that down. Notepad. Get it out, write it down. So decent conditions is fine for now, because everyone's employed, they've got housing and amenities, so, you know, they're okay. They don't need extra toasters. Right. Anything else we need to cover? Blockers. So we talked about blockers and why we can't build, for example, the full amount of generator districts or agricultural districts. Let's have a look. We're going to click this button or press the K key, and we can see here we've got some blockers. This region is covered by ruined industrial complexes and toxic soil, detritus from a past age of progress. And sprawling slums. This one's special. This region is covered by vast shanty towns and slums filled with 1 billion of the poor and outcast. Why do I say 1 billion? Because when you clear it, 300 energy, you get 1 Velveteer pop, or 1 pop that is your primary species on this planet, which will be your capital. One final thing, and then we're going to take a short break. Decisions. You'll get more. Some you might have, some you might not be able to do, depending on your policies, depending on your ethics, and technologies that you've researched. So what can we do here? Most of them cost influence. If we're building robots, we're not. We can tell them to stop. We can declare martial law if things start to get out of control crime-wise. We can discourage planetary growth. So if we're running out of housing and we are running out of space to expand into, for example, then we're going to have some issues. So we can click that button. All of the malus, as you see there, will immediately come into effect. So pop growth is not stopped. It's just slowed to 25%. And that means that the remaining ones, the remaining pops, are going to be pissed off, and so they are going to take plus 25% more amenities, as well as upkeep in the form of food and toasters, which is not good. Also, if you have other planets, or a migration treaty with another empire, pops are more likely to try and make better lives for themselves, where they can have the families they feel they deserve. We could distribute luxury goods, which gives plus 25 amenities, as well as making this a land of plenty, so that maybe other species that we have a migration treaty to that we want to attract into our empire will find a 25% pull towards this planet. Or if we want to populate it after we've sent a lot of its citizens to other colonies later down the line, we can use that to get some back. There is a far better way of doing so. We'll cover that. And then we've got encourage planetary growth. Pop growth speed plus 25%. That will cost 1,000 megatons, so a petaton of food. Or is it a gigaton? Yeah, gigaton. A gigaton of apples to do that. r/gigaton of apples. Send artifacts to museum exhibits. This is about archaeological research. We'll cover that. Don't you worry. So, decisions, buildings, what they do, social stratas, blockers, happiness. We can see the happiness of each pop here, 52%. Why are they happy? High amenities. Yes! Great. And that's that. Okay, we're going to take a very short break. Enjoy your ad. We will be back soon. And we are going to start exploring. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your break. Now, for the first time... Well, I certainly enjoyed mine. Okay. I'm going to press the M or the E keys to open the galaxy map. And here we are. Yes, I do my own sound effects. Free of charge. Here we are. The Great Velveteer Commonwealth. You can barely read it, so small. Maybe I'll zoom in. And we can see we've got some military fleets. We've got, well, we've got one. We've got a science vessel, and we've got a construction vessel. What can we do with a construction vessel? We can do a variety of things. We can build a starbase. That's how we claim other systems. We can build mining stations. We can build research stations, observation posts. That's if you find like a pre-FTL kind of prime directive thing if you watch Star Trek. If you find a Bronze Age civilization, we can build an observation post and study their development for society research. Mining stations are what we are interested in now. Each costs exactly 100 minerals, and guess how many we have? Amazing. So, let's select, well, it already is selected, select our colony ship, or you can press number 4 on your, because you've already got a command tab on it. And what do we need now? So we're getting plus 5 energy, plus 18 minerals, but we need minerals to buy everything in the early game. So where can we get some minerals? We've got 3 over there. And I think that's it. So let's right-click on that. Build a mining station. So that'll take a while to build. And in the meantime, we've got a scientist. Back out. The scientist can do 2 things. Explore and survey. At the moment, all of these stars, no ship apart from a science ship can go to. because they are uncharted, unknown. So, for example, if we try to send them there, we need a fully crewed science ship to explore a system we have no intel on. So, science ship, we can do two things. We can explore, or we can survey. Explore will mean that other ships can pass through the systems. It's a lot quicker. It's basically going in and taking a look. Survey means that we can then lay claim to the system in order to expand our territory and mine the space resources like we have in Makar that may be present in that system. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go to survey and click that button, or we could just right-click the star, and I'm going to hold the shift key and click survey, and it will now do that. But I don't want it to just do that and then finish. I want it to keep going and survey all of these stars in this order. Before coming home to Makar. Done. That's going to take ages. But the because we've got the quick learners trait in our species, we can get loads of experience for doing that, and as he does it, as he goes, he'll learn and he'll do it faster, which is amazing. So what we're going to do, now I've got all of those orders in, is we can unpause the game and go to fastest, and we'll see. There he goes. We've already got this station under construction. We can see we're already, because everything's going nice and fast, we're already in March, now April. We're just building this mining station, and that's about to give us +3, so we'll see that go up to 26
Construction
shortly,
complete.
when the month ticks over into June 26. Great. And now we have additional. So let's build a mining station over Javilopsiva to give us extra energy. I'll tell you why in a second. Oh, here we are. This is the Dradim system. And he's looking at it. He's looking at it. More minerals. Lovely. Potentially a habitable world. It's an ocean world. We're not really going to like that.
Complete.
19 planet size, though. What's planet size? Let's pause. We'll go back to our home system with the home key, and we're going to click on Mog. Arid world. Habitability 100% because it's our home world, and we like arid worlds. 18. That 18 is the maximum amount of districts spread across all 4 types that the planet can support. There is a Ascension perk. We'll cover Ascension perks and traditions in a separate module that can increase that by 2. It's called Mastery of Nature. But we can only have 18 districts. You could do in any formation you like. You can have all 18 city districts. That's fine. The maximum amount of districts in the other 3 depends on the planet and the planetary features. So we can see here arid highlands, max generated districts +1. That's going to be wind turbines, searing deserts for, you know, thermal collectors and, you know, solar panels, etc. Geothermal vents, great. And then we've got ore-veined cliffs and caverns and mountains that can give us max mining districts. So even though we can build 18 districts, we can only build a maximum of 6 mining districts because of the planetary features of this planet. We can build 2... Well, we've got 2 of these. So we can build 2 agricultural districts there, 2 there, and 3 there, leading to a total of 7. 6, 7, 8, because there's a blocker that if we unblocked it, let's have a look at the blockers. Industrial wasteland, this one here, we can get max agricultural districts +2, which is very good. So, now we've covered that. Ooh, alloys directly researchable. Excellent. Okay, what we're going to do now is 2 things. We're going to click our shipyard. We could also go into the Makar system and press this button here. We go to the shipyard tab, and we're going to build another science ship. And as soon as that completes in 60 days, let's just resume. And he's going to continue. So, ooh, lots of stuff in Draden. We love that. So we can see here.
Construction complete.
Lovely. Hello. And you get these events pop up. Wonderful. The VCV, Fingav Adfin, has made a startling find on Draden 2. The planet is teeming with alien life. For the first time in history, we have encountered life forms that did not originate on Mok. This amazing discovery has silenced those who believed that we were alone in the universe. Although none of the alien creatures found on Draden 2 are sapient, it is likely only a matter of time before we encounter beings that are. We may not be alone out there. And in preparation for that moment, we gain a boost to society research. Hooray! So. Oh, wait. We haven't been researching anything. So, let's go to technology. We haven't been doing anything. Oh, for a year. Oh, it's not good. Right. So, what can we unlock? We can unlock fusion power, that's a ship component. Improved deflectors, that's a ship component. Global energy management, that unlocks an edict that would last 11 years. It's basically a decision that enables us to set priorities within our empire, and as well as a building, which is wonderful. It's the energy grid. Energy credits from technicians, those are people who work in generator districts, will have a plus 15% bonus to their output. So we're definitely going to get that. But before we do, what does this mean? This means this is an unlock technology to further research fields in the same vein. So, for example, this is a Tech 2 power generator on a starship. It will unlock Tech 3 upon researching it. We're going to research this one right now. With society, again, unlocks additional edicts campaigns that cost energy instead of influence. That's very good. And monthly unity +2, fantastic. Administrative path. So upgrade planetary capitals are required for high-level buildings. So that's very good. Planetary unification, definitely. And review Uvi Afin is going to go for powered exoskeletons. That leads to robotics, as well as +5% all minerals from all jobs on planetary districts. Superb. Great. All right. So now we have a second science ship. Intriguing. So now we have a second science ship. What we're going to do is we're going
Star
to...
system charted.
Excellent. Is to recruit another scientist. And now, sometimes you get ones that have bonuses to sort of, you know, engineering and things like that. But we've got some specialties here: statecraft, new worlds, and industry. Are we researching anything? That's statecraft, and you don't have that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to hire the statecraft, and then we are going to put the current society leader into our new ship, and then that will give it that warning. There's no one there. Great. And now we can see that our technology is getting a big boost because their expertise is in statecraft. So we've got a match there. Fantastic. We've now got this guy doing not very much. So what we're going to do is... Ooh, lovely. Archaeology. We are going to send this guy in the opposite direction.
Anomaly found.
Anomalies. Anomalies can start event chains. They can add resources to planets. And they can reveal archaeological sites, as well as event chains that lead to precursor races. So definitely going to research that and see what happens. So we're going to do that. And then, but yeah, we're basically going to go in the opposite direction to the other one. And we're going to go over there. And so obviously... Ooh, we've got a habitable planet in the Guitarra system. It's an arid world. Lovely, lovely, lovely idea for a colony there. And you might see that in 2 years, we now have a tradition available. We're going to cover this in a separate module. So, we are going to call it a night for the first part of this module's tutorial. It will be split into 2 parts because we actually haven't colonized anywhere. But we have managed to explain a lot of the functions that govern populations, happiness, stability, resource production on worlds, social stratification, the idea of a class system, technologies, leaders. I think we've done a lot today. We don't want to make it too long, so we're going to split it into bite-sized chunks because this module is enormous. So, with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Nova Kane. I very much hope that you've learned something today, or at least enjoyed the ride. If you have, please do hit that like button, and if you are not subscribed already, please do. This series and all of my content is simply not possible without viewers like you, as well as the patrons that are fluttering across the bottom of your screen right now. If you'd like to become a patron yourself, visit visit patreon.com/NovaKane. And with that, and the galaxy ripe for the taking, I bid you, for now, a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night.